Director, ma'am. Principal Director, sir. Excuse me. Just give a few seconds. Just a minute. Afternoon to everyone. Secretary, Director, sir. Director, ma'am. And Principal, sir. Vice Principal, sir. Our judges for today's event. Vice Principal, sir, Mr. Deepak Singh. Next, wait. Daljit Singh. And most important, today's event is based on our event in charges of all four houses and our students. This Rishi, ma'am, what are you doing? What happened to you? Actually, ma'am, this problem, please some light down here. Okay, tell me one thing. We have, by keeping ourselves in this comfort zone of food and house. What about those natural creatures created by God present on this earth? How they are protecting themselves? The same I want thinking that, but I got answer too. That is, as we created roof for us, God has created a layer of ozone on Earth, which acts as a roof for these creatures of nature. Absolute, ma'am. So let's start today's inter-house live report competition on the effect of ozone hole on different regions of Earth. That is divided and given questions. Before beginning the competition, with our first house, that is Jai House. So Jai House, in this is Mandal Medal Scholarship of rupees 11,000 and in previous grades. Also active in sports and got prizes inter-house planetarium and tech race. Participant is Diksha Singh of grade 10, sorry. She is marvelous in academics as well as co-curricular activities, sports. She got first position in Math Olympiad in 2018, first position in handball tournament and second in Kho-Kho. So over to you, Jai House. Please start your performance.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, jury members, and my audience. We, Diksha, Arvind Sharma, the representatives of our news channel, Jai Forum, are here to enlighten you with the depleted condition of ozone and its effect on us. Ozone layer or ozone shield is a region in Earth's stratosphere that absorbs harmful UV rays of the sun. It not only protects the human being, but it also protects us and other forms of life too. But increasing in human activities are continuously depleting the ozone layer, which will over time lead to damaged crops, increased cataract rates, and skin cancer. CFCs are the major ozone depleting substances. Now, there is an audience. Yes, ma'am. What is it? Malika? Yes, ma'am. My question is that why the temperature is increasing continuously? Because of the depletion of the ozone layer. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are absolutely right. This all because of the depletion of the ozone layer. Now, I would like to share some information regarding ozone layer. As I have told you that ozone layer plays a vital role in means life. It protects Earth from harmful ultraviolet rays. Ozone is a molecule which is made up of three of. Next, if we talk about ozone layer depletion, as the name suggests, depletion means reduction. Ozone layer depletion is the reduction of the amount of ozone in the stratosphere. CFCs are the major ozone depleting substances. What is the position of ozone in the atmosphere? Ozone layer is present about 20 to 30 kilometers. This shows the how ozone layer 14 countries. It stands first in terms of land area and it stands second in terms of population after Antarctica. The most prominent country is Australia. The Oceania is made up of thousands of small islands. Now, what about the atmosphere and climatic conditions in Oceania, Australia, and Antarctica? These are facing challenges with atmosphere and climate changes. Do you know that there is a hole in the ozone layer of the atmosphere over Antarctica? In 1987, 149 countries gathered in Montreal and signed an agreement to reduce the use of ODCs. There are many decisions which were taken in that, like freeze consumption of CFC-11 and reduce consumption of CFC-12. Now, as we know that ozone layer is very important for us. So the important thing is how can we conserve the ozone layer? We can conserve the ozone layer by minimize the use of cars, avoid the consumption of gases which are dangerous to ozone layer, reduce the use of air conditioners as they produce CFCs which are very harmful. Now, I would like to hand over to my co-reporter Aditya Sharma, who will take in aspects of ozone layer.
Thank you, Diksha. My cold reporter told you in detail about what is Oceania and what is ozone layer. And now I am going to tell you about what are the severe impacts of ozone layer depletion. First of all, the people of Oceania have witnessed a hike in the cases of skin cancer and cataract. Also, they have witnessed a gradual weakening in their immune system. Apart from the animals, plants too have severe impacts of ozone layer depletion. Plants shed their leaves in any season. Also, the farmers are in crisis because of the loss of crops. Apart from these effects, the ozone layer depletion has also given rise to a very dangerous phenomenon of global warming. Now, I want you all to have a look at some indexes. In these indexes, you can see how Australia's average temperature is rising faster as compared to the rest of the world. In 2018, Perth's average temperature was plus 0.61, while Australia's temperature was plus 1.52 in 2019. The scientists have also predicted about 10 to 20% rainfall decrease since 1970s in the Oceanian region. Also, the scientists have observed an increase in the sea level in the Oceanian region, with in some areas it being up to 11 centimeters with a national average of 2 centimeters. So, the global warming has also given rise to the severe phenomenon of global warming. Yeah, do you know about the Australian bushfires of 2019-20? Yes, they were famous throughout the world. The heights of those bushfires was up every 12.4 meters and they caused destruction in about 46 million acres. Can you imagine 46 million acres of forest land was destructed in those bushfires? Also, those bushfires caused due to that bushfires about 3 billion. Yes, 3 billion, about 300 crore animals were killed or displaced in those bushfires. Kangaroos, koalas, ostriches lost their shelters in forest fires. Also, the whales and sharks have migrated in large numbers because of the warm water current. Scientists have predicted other future effects like decrease in the habitats of butterfly and birds, which are the most beautiful creatures of the earth. That too is very disappointing. And now we have some positive news. The Montreal Protocol had a positive impact in reducing the consumption of ozone depleting substances. You can see how the consumption of ozone depleting substances have decreased over a span of 30 years. And in the second graph, we have much more positive sign. Due to the lockdown that was imposed to the COVID-19 pandemic, the ozone layer is healing over time. Now, I would like to thank you all to listen us keenly.
And Disha, thank you for such a marvelous, knowledgeable performance by your house over the effect of ozone layer on Oceania region. Now I request student in charge of your house, J House, that is Mr. Navneet, please come forward and say a few words regarding performance of your house. Navneet sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I wish you both to perform well with greater excellence. You have done your best. PPT was good and contents they have delivered with the graph. This is very, very good. All the best for your future. Keep it up. Thanks. Thank you, ma'am.
So much, sir. Thank you, Jai House. Now let's move forward towards Pratap House with its first participant as Devjit. Devjit and Utkarsh. Utkarsh is actually, I can say, ma'am, he is environment lover. And he used to get, he got first prize in essay competition on environment friendly day. So over to you, Pratap House. Please give your performance.
Good afternoon, all of you. My name is Devjit. On behalf of Pratap House, I am here in front of you to do the live reporting on the topic effect of ozone holes on Antarctica. As you all know, these holes are very harmful to us. Due to the low temperature in Antarctica, the PSCs or polar stratospheric clouds are formed. Further, these polar stratospheric clouds combine with polar stratospheric air and the bromine and chlorine reaction occurs. This bromine and chlorine reaction further forms the ozone holes. These ozone holes ultimately leads to global warming. After global warming, there are certain steps that are follows, that the melting of ice in Antarctica, increase in sea level. After the increase in sea level, there are submerging of coastal areas. That's all from my side. I would like to pass over my friend Utkarsh with his PPT.
Thanks, Devjit, for giving me the golden opportunity to speak on the topic World Ozone Day. 16 September, known for the International Day for the Prevention of Ozone Layer. World Ozone Day history. The September 16 was designed by the United Nations for the International Day of the Prevention of Ozone Layer. On December 1994, the United Nations Assembly proclaimed that September 16 an International Day for the Prevention of Ozone Layer. 16 September 1987, the United Nations and the other 45 countries signed the Montreal Protocols to stop using the substance that deplete the ozone layer. The purpose for the Montreal Protocol to protect our ozone layer, reducing the pollution and banning the substance that harm us, our environment. The ozone layer is the region of Earth's atmosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation, contains a high concentration of ozone. The ozone layer was discovered by Charles Fabry and Henry Buisson in 1913. These two are the French physicists. The ozone layer absorbs 97 to 99% of the sun's ultraviolet radiations. Otherwise, the radiations can cause the harm to our environment. Ozone depletion. From the 1970s, there has been 4% decrease in the total volume of the ozone layer per year. Ozone layer depletion causes. There are many causes for the ozone depletion. Some are the unregulated rocket launches, natural causes, nitrogen compounds, and the gas that is released from the refrigerators. Also, chlorofluorocarbons. Effects of ozone layer depletion. There are many effects on the earth of the ozone layer. For the depletion of ozone layer on the humans, this may result in skin diseases, sunburns, cancer. Environment, ultraviolet radiations may lead to manual growth, to flowering and photosynthesis plant. On animals, it can direct.
Our guest is Miss Shalini Gupta from Bangalore. And my first question is, why has an ozone hole appeared over Antarctica when ozone depleting substances are present throughout the stratosphere?
I think ozone hole appears over Antarctica region because of special meteorological and chemical condition that exist over Antarctica and not on any other regions. Antarctica stratosphere is very low winter temperature. Temperature is very low in Antarctica, as you all know. That caused the polar stratospheric clouds to form. I think this is the main reason for forming the ozone hole.
Yes, ma'am. That's the right answer. And my other question is, does depletion of the ozone layer increase ground level ultraviolet radiation?
Yeah, for sure. That is because the amount of total ozone is getting decreased as ozone absorbs UV radiation from the sun. And it's difficult for the radiation to go to our ground. That's the main reason.
Yeah, ma'am, that's the good one answer.
Yeah.
And my other question is, when was the first ozone hole discovered?
It's on 16th May 1985.
Yeah, ma'am, your general knowledge is very good. And my last question is, in which sphere or layer the ozone layer depletion is found?
It is mostly found in the stratosphere.
Okay, ma'am,
Any
you
other
are right.
question you want to ask? I want to ask you one question. How many layers are there?
And there are 5 layers in our atmosphere.
The ozone it's becoming big trouble for all of us. So you people are concerned and researching so much topics, points on this. That is very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pratap House, for such a lovely performance. Actually, I can say interactive performance here. It was lovely to see that this performance. Now I request house in charge or event in charge of this house, Mrs. Pratima Gupta, to say a few over this performance.
Good afternoon, ma'am. First of all, thanks give me again opportunity to speak something. बहुत कम टाइम में मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ने अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किया. I am proud of my students.
Now it is the time for the next house, that is Sangha House, to present their report on the topic Antarctica. So let us see what they are going to present.
A very warm afternoon to supportive management, innovative teachers, and my dear friends. I am Himanshi Goyal along with my friend Hanchika Sharma of class 10 on behalf of Sangha House to share our views on Antarctica and ozone layer. The International Day for the Preservation of Ozone is observed on 16th September every year since 1995. This date has been chosen by the United Nations General Assembly for remembering the signing of the Montreal Protocol, which was signed in 1987. Now I would like to share my screen to show you the PPT. So our topic is ozone depletion in Arctic zone. So first question that arises in our mind is, what is ozone layer? Ozone layer is actually acts as a screen which radiates back all the UV rays and absorbs them. It is found in a stratosphere and which is also known as ozonosphere because of the presence of ozone layer in it. Now let's talk about ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is the gradual thinning of ozone layer. In Antarctica, ozone hole is present, which is not an actual hole, but actually the loss of 60% of the ozone layer. Although all around the world, it is only the loss of 20%. Surprisingly, it is to note that one chlorine can destroy 1 lakh atoms of ozone. Chlorine and bromine atoms, when come in contact with ozone layer, destruct it. Humans have created more methods of destruction of ozone layer, that is chlorofluorocarbon, and the thinning is most pronounced in polar region. We can see that CFC is gradually emitted from homes and industry. When we make chemical fertilizers, use ACs, refrigerators, and else. CFCs broke down in the atmosphere and then broke down the ozone layer. Now, in 2020, ozone depletion over the Arctic was much larger. In fact, it has reached to its maximum extension of 1 million square kilometers. Scientists believe that freezing temperature in stratosphere and atmospheric condition at poles was responsible for this ozone depletion. Although Arctic temperature do not usually fall as low as in Antarctica, this year powerful winds blowing around the North Pole trapped cold air within what is known as polar vortex. Now, as we can see, ozone hole which is spreading to almost 1 million square kilometers. Now, can we think of healing of this ozone hole? Yeah, in fact, it is healing. From 2000 per decade, it is healing about 2 to 3%. The hole in North Pole seems to have been recovering. According to the European Union's Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Services, a hole in Arctic ozone layer believed to have been recovered. Now, let's talk what is polar vortex. A polar vortex is nothing but a large area of low pressure and cold air that surrounds both of Earth's poles. As we can see the difference, Earth without ozone is like a home without a roof. So, to protect our roof, I would like to suggest some measures. These measures are Avoid using hairsprays, aerosols which contain CFCs. Second, avoid using the fire extinguishers. Third, follow 4 hours principle. Fifth, use energy saving gadgets and bulbs. And we can also use alternate methods of transportation like buses and trains, or simply walk or carpool. We should also keep maintenance of our ACs and fridges so that they cannot liberate out more CFC, which is dangerous to our ozone layer. So now I would like to tell you one surprising fact. Do you want to know? Yeah. So it is, you will be surprised to know that the total mass of ozone is about 3 billion metric tons, which may seem like a lot in the atmosphere, but it is only about 6 into 10 raised to minus 5% of the atmosphere. The peak concentration occurs at 30 kilometers above the Earth's surface.
So thank you very much, Himanshi and Hansika. You have told everyone about the interesting fact and ozone layer. I would like to thank Mr. Pawan Bhati and Ms. Disha Bansal for being with us. Thank you very much. I'm very glad that our student is performing very good. Thank you very much.
All the participants of each house have worked hard, as it is clearly seen in their performance. Last but not the least, now it's time for the participants of Uday House. So here comes Surbhi Bhardwaj, who is interested in drawing, painting and cooking. Moreover, she is the winner of still art competition. And the second participant is Khyati Upadhyay, having cooking and reading as her hobbies. She had been the part of inter-house handball and inter-house band competition and secured second position in both. So let us see their performance.
A very warm and mesmerizing afternoon to all present here. Honorable Director, Secretary of the school, Reverse Principal, Vice Principal, respected judges, teachers, and my lovely fellow folks today. I am Surbhi Bhardwaj of class 9th B, representing Uday House in today's inter-house live report competition. Now I want to pass my mic to my partner for her introduction.
A very warm good afternoon to one and all present here. Respected teachers, director, principal, and all my dear participants. I, Khyati Upadhyay, is standing in front of you all to represent my house on this live report competition. Surbhi, can you please tell me about the ozone layer and some of its effect on Earth?
Yes, sure. First, I want to tell you that what is ozone layer and what it is made up of. The thick layer of ozone or O3 molecule is called ozone layer. There are 6 layers present in our atmosphere, namely troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere and exosphere. Ozone layer is the region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's UV rays. It is lie between the stratosphere from approximately 15 to 35 kilometers above the Earth's surface. It contains a high concentration of O3 in the stratosphere. Ozone layer contains less than 10 parts per million of ozone, while the average ozone concentration in Earth's atmosphere as a whole is about 0.3 parts per million. Now you must be wondering why it is very important for us. Now here are some points to conclude that. Ozone layer blocks harmful UV rays from the sun and protects biological processes on Earth's surface. Without the ozone layer, it would be very difficult for anything to survive on the Earth's surface. For example, think of a very bad sunburn or even worse. Plants cannot live and grow in heavy ultraviolet radiations, nor can the plankton that serve as a food for most of the ocean life. In short, we can say that ozone is the gas atmosphere that protects everything living on the Earth from harmful UV rays of the sun. The ozone layer acts as a shield to absorb the UV rays and keep them away from doing any damage on the Earth's surface. Now, I want to invite Ms. Munman Sharma to express her views on the changes that she has seen in our body and atmosphere due to ozone hole or ozone depletion in past 10 to 15 years.
Thank you, Surbhi.
the consequences of increase in the hole of ozone in the past 10 to 15 years that are UV radiation are rapidly increasing, due to which our life and environment is badly affected. It is also affect to our skin, eyes. The sun rays, which rays directly can be cause of skin cancer, affect us, affect our immune system. The depletion of ozone layer also affect our environment, like the sea water level is rapidly increasing. Climate change is a big issue. Arctic animals are also suffering from these changes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I want my partner Kathy to enlighten us with what is ozone hole and why it is so harmful for us.
Thank you, Survi. Now let me tell you about what is ozone hole. A region of marked thinning of the ozone layer that chiefly in winter attributed to the chemical reaction of CFCs and other atmospheric pollutants is called ozone hole, and its effects are very harmful to us. The sun emits 3 types of UV rays on the earth, that are UVA, UVB and UVC rays. The UVA rays, which amount for 95% of UV radiations that falls on the earth's surface, and it causes wrinkles and sunspots. But the UVB rays that affects the sun's top layer and affects us like skin cancer and sunburns. But the people who are working with welding torches or mercury lamps may be exposed to the UVC radiation, which are the most dangerous type of UV radiations. And thus our ozone layer protects us from these harmful types of radiation. Now, it was known that due to ozone layer depletion, the amount of UVB rays falling on Earth has been increased, and because of that, the laboratory and epidemiological studies demonstrate that it causes non-melanoma skin cancer. Now let me all tell you about the effect of ozone layer in South America this year. The ozone hole that opens every year over the Antarctica is on course to be the smallest in this year. The researchers also say that the hole is also particularly in an unusual shape, due to which the being heavily skewed towards the polar vortex instead of centering to the South Pole. The rare shape never before observed indicates the significant distortion to the unusual polar vortex instead of centering to the polar vortex, and which maintains low temperature in the stratosphere. Now, world government was also taking many steps to prevent our ozone layer. The world government in late 1980s taken action to prevent Earth's ozone layer by phasing out ozone depleting substances under Montreal Protocol. In 1987, to address the destruction of ozone depleting substances, the international community established Montreal Protocol on ozone depleting substances. Montreal Protocol's objective is to cut down the consumption and production of ozone depleting substances in order to reduce their presence in the atmosphere and thus protect our Earth's ozone layer. At last, I want to say you all that as the sun as the umbrella protects us from the rain, the sun ozone layer protects us from the sun's UV rays. So please save this.
The house you has given the excellent performance. Moreover, you also told us ozone now, oxygen later. For your performance, Ashna ma'am, what do you think about the performance of all the participants of all houses?
Rishu ma'am, actually I can say students are giving a valuable knowledge to us. They did a lot of research, I think. The knowledge they are giving, the points they are giving, actually I was not aware of them much. And today I got to know a lot of them. Well done, students.
So ma'am, we both want to know the views of the judges about the performance of all the participants of all houses. So for this, I would like to call Mr. Deepak Singh Rotela.
Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to Director Principal and all my judges. No doubt it was a very good effort. I can say the technical presentation was somewhat, we can say that it was good, but the reporting for some houses can be much better. These are my views. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What I think, Ashna ma'am, these types of events help us to get information from our surroundings and also help us to develop our personalities. So these must be held occasionally.
Absolutely right, ma'am.
At the end, we should be thankful to each and everyone who spared their precious time with us and have made our event wonderful with their presence. Thank you once again. Ashna ma'am, let us wind the event with a oath. We resolve to be ozone friendly citizens and promote use of ozone friendly goods and services. We shall make all efforts to restrict and control the emission of ozone depleting substances to the atmosphere and protect and save all the forms of life on the earth. We hereby pledge to protect the Mother Earth, save ourselves, and protect and conserve natural resources for the future generation. Thank you so much. Ma'am, this oath helps us to learn that we too would try to preserve our ozone layer, as we are also the part of this earth, and this is our responsibility. So, I'm going to conclude my words with a quotation. Ozone is like the mask that we are using these days to prevent the disease COVID-19. Thank you everyone. Stay home, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you everyone.